During the 50s, British industry experienced an unprecedented boom, and thousands of men from the colonies were enticed here to work. A large number of the foreign workers in Sheffield steel came from the Yemen in the Middle East. Saleh Ali Ahmed came here to work in 1955. His wife joined him only 5 years ago, leaving their children in Yemen. Salem Hamid has worked here since 1957. His wife joined him 10 years later, and their children have grown up here. Luft Mohammed arrived in 1957 and was a steel worker until 1979, when he was made redundant. He married a Sheffield girl, and they have 2 children.
But who told you there would be work?
Government give me a passport, give me everything. Oh, the British government.
Which British government?
Yes.
The Yemen has always occupied a strategic position on the world map as both trader and trading post. Yet despite the country's importance, the mass of Yemeni people lived in a state of feudalism, and many of the ruling sultans, sheikhs and imams in southern Yemen were happy to sign protectorate treaties with the British, whose principal interest was the coastal area around Aden.
I was working Aden with English, 1954.
What did you do there?
We'll work
Docks?
docks.
I come from Yemen. I was in Aden and I was in army for a year, British Army.
استعمروا بلادنا مدة طويلة. بلادنا جزء متأخرة، مش حتى مواصلات ولا مدارس ولا مع جلسنا متأخرين إلا من مش معانا لا مدارس ولا من ناس متعلمين جلسوا كل واحد تبع الحقنة الحين تقوى الشعب معانا.
The rise of Arab nationalism, inspired by Egypt's President Nasser in the 1950s, developed political awareness and encouraged resistance to British as well as internal oppression.
like you, I'm man. Hey, man. Hey, I'm man. Hey, I'm man. On the deck. Down. Good.
The National Liberation Front geared themselves to take over, legally. The Union Jack was dipped for the last time on these inhospitable shores. The withdrawal was almost over.
By the time Britain had left Aden, however, she had milked the country's labor power, and thousands of Yemenis had left to work in British industrial centers, often without speaking a word of English.
You'd learnt some English in the Yemen then, or not?
No. When I come to this country, I can't understand nothing but the English language.
I was in the train from London, and I showed an old man the dress that I want to get up to Sheffield. And they put me up at Chesterfield. That's the first mistake I've ever made. And then I arrived at Sheffield next day. Start working in Sheffield. I mean, obviously, them days, you don't need to speak English to find the jobs.
Put me at night, an afternoon shift. I'll start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, well, 10 o'clock at night. Come home 10 o'clock at night, it used to be a tram car.
Oh.
We used to catch number 4 bus from Uncabank to New Road. Drop from number 4 bus and catch tram car to Attercliffe. At that time, I missed New Road. He went to town, the
you
bus.
missed your stop?
He was a bit fog. And that conductor, used to be conductor there, she never even asked me. I would sit down there, I get 4 bins. I took 5 trips that bus. Up to last trip, it's about bus 12. Everybody got out the bus in town. I was still there. And she come to me, she says, we finish. I says, thank you, that's all I know. Thank you. She says, no. Finish. I says, thank you. Start laughing. First police out. Says to him, this lad, he'd been in bus since, could be about past 9, I think. We have 5 trip. He were in. Couldn't speak in a word English. Well, I says, oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll try to get somebody to... Find somebody, pal bloke, couldn't speak in Arabic, I couldn't speak in his language. He come to me, he says, speak in English? I says, aye. He says, thank you. And just told me, sleep. Where? I says, Atacliff. He just picked me up. He says, come on, car. Straight away to Atacliff. I just see Shebingham Street. Open the door. Run away.
We not bother about school to learn English that time because nobody told us to go night school or something like that. We just carry on work.
Come here, do this. Move this, shift this, turn this, take this away. Yeah. Come here, shift this, do this, let this. That's all.
You learn this easy. This is what you learn.
Come here tomorrow 6 o'clock. Yeah. Finish 2 o'clock.
This is what we know.
Show me machine, show me laborer, show me slinger, show me crane driver, anything I do it. Because I got 2 eyes. And I get good thing, but work. When him showed me with hand, and I do it.
Donkey work, labourers. You do a job what the Englishman doesn't want to do anyway.
We used to get about £7 a week, and we working nearly sometimes 16 hours to get some more money because we need some money to send home and to manage ourselves. And we manage the life, and we go in the shop, have tea with friend, and buy some stuff, and come back home. We go in the beach sometime, and we dance in some time because we come in here young, 18 years old.
I mean, in Sheffield, they used to look at you going out. They think, where you come out? From space. They won't sit near your bus.
They wouldn't sit next to you?
No, they won't sit near next to you. In fact, they find it now, but not that much. And when you go to cinema, they leave all the row for you. They look at you going out. And if you go out with a girl, it was crime during 50s.
What was a crime?
It was crime to go out with an English girl. They snatch each other's, look at him. They've seen something, you know.
When they came here as workers, as single men, leaving their families back home. So there's this problem with the divided families in the Yemeni community. Workers in the Yemeni community haven't seen their families for about 5, 10, 11, 12 years. I'm a perfect example of that. My father was in this country, and he stayed here for 11 years continuously before he came back. He went when I was the age of 4 months, and came back when I was the age of 11. So I didn't see my father through my childhood.
الحين جلسوها على زواجنا 3-4 سنين وخرجوا جلسوا سنة لما جيت طفل ولا طفل سنة من ما شهر جيت طفل أو طفلة ورجعوا جلسوا 3-4 سنين وجاوا عندنا جلسوا سنة تعال رجعنا دخلنا عندهم تركنا عيالنا الحين نبكي على عيالنا
ما اشتقنا من أرضنا بلادنا مليحة أحسن بلاد ما اشتقنا بها عشنا بها مرتاحين إنما تعبونا العيال مع فرق أبوهم الأب هنا ورحنا وياهم بالبلاد بعدها تأخروا عنا من طريق مدارس كنا نتعبهم تعب مع الأم يوم يقع الرجال مع حد.
Oh, yeah.
ها تعب. بس بهذا الشكل العيال تعبوا الأم والأب مع حد ولا كلها عيشة انجينا عندهم هنا مرتاحين معاهم وفرقنا عيالنا وين جلسنا عند العيال مرتاحين مع العيال وفرقنا زواجنا.
تعب.
ايش معنا حاجة.
جلسنا بزقانا نشتغل ببلادنا وننتبه على عيالنا وهم بزقاهم يشتغلوا هنا ويكدوا لنا. الحين هم زحفوا ونحن زحفنا. نشتي نعيش نحن وياهم اما تعبوا اما باعوا حياتهم.
With economic recession in the late 70s, the steel industry was decimated and thousands of jobs were lost. The Yemenis were dumped on the unemployment heap. With inadequate English, they could neither enter the job market nor claim the unemployment benefits to which they were entitled. The Yemeni Community Association was obliged to meet the demand for welfare rights advice and information because no one else had recognized the special needs of the Yemeni community.
ايش قضيتك انت؟
قضيتي انا جبت لك ورقه منهم قالوا ان الشهاده حق الحرمه ان هذا كافيه وفعلت لهم ورقه من هنا واليوم هذا كدوا لي مصاريف 48 جنيه لي فقط وحرمتي مش كدوا لها قالوا ما يعترفون شيء انها مش زوجتي.
انا بتصل بهم تليفون الان بشوف.
شكرا.
Oh, good morning. It's Abdul Shaif here from the Yemeni Advice Center. I wonder if you can help me. It's regarding Mrs. Ahmed. We sent a retirement pension claim form about a year ago. There seems to be a mix-up that the marriage took place in 1984 and not 1948. I spoke to your supervisor 2 weeks ago, and they assured me that everything was in order. Mr. Ahmed at the moment is in the advice center, and he's complaining that the woman he met on the desk in the DHSS office told him that Mrs. Ahmed wasn't really Mrs. Ahmed and she was another woman.
عندما أنا دخلت شباب يعني مزوج ولكن أنا دخلت أنا زاجي.
I came here as a young, strong man when I came here.
أنا دخلت ثاني العمل اليوم الثاني من ما وصلت.
The second day I arrived in this country, I was working, believe it or not.
Right. اشتغلت 35 سنة.
I worked for 35 years continuously.
ما حدا كل جافة يقول كل مكتوب في مصنع يقول I like you. أنا أشتيك.
Every firm that he worked in, they liked him. They thought it was really good.
Right. خلصت العمل لا صير.
When I finished work last year.
إيش يقول لي السوشيال أصبر من اليوم لا بكرة.
Social security have been messing about with me all the time from one day to another.
حرمتي هنا اعترف بها هم حفيظ.
My wife is here, recognized by the Home Office that she's my wife.
فعلا لهذا فين نجي والسبب أنا فقدت شعوري أنا فقدت العلم حقي الكلام الإنجليزي الآن.
I realize now that I can't speak English when I'm in situations like this. This is when I really realize I need to speak English.
The problem came out, the problem of illiteracy and unemployment came out recently because it was made obvious by the closure of steel industry. A lot of them can't enter college courses, can't join retraining courses and so on because they don't have that basic language component they need. Now, you hear a lot of loose talk when you talk like this and you try and kind of say, look, this is a major problem. You hear a lot of loose talk about you can't say things like this. It fuels the racism. Of course it does. But at the same time, while we're worrying about the racism of the system, we've also got to worry about how we're going to deal with genuine needs that these people have. I think for too long there's been kind of, if you like, a silent collusion of people who are worried about embarrassing black people to the extent that the problem is pushed aside. It seems to me that's unacceptable.
To assess the needs of the community, the Yemenis conducted their own survey with the help of Sheffield City Council. The work was done by young bilingual Yemenis. They discovered an illiteracy rate of 95% amongst the older people and high unemployment throughout the community. A major step towards tackling both these problems was the launching of the Yemeni Literacy Campaign. Organized by the community in partnership with Sheffield's Education Department, The scheme trains young bilingual Yemenis to become literacy assistants, teaching English to the older men and women.
How do you do?
How do you do?
How do you do?
How do you do? يس أنا فرحان إذا مثلا بس إنه قد يعني قلت أنا أتأخر الوقت ولكن إيش.
He's happy with any scheme that will help to eradicate literacy, but he says for him it may be a bit too late. He wished it came a long time ago rather than now.
كنا نحسبها مثل أخواتنا نحتسب إن إحنا أسرة واحدة.
I have my son and my daughter in this scheme, and I'm very happy. I'm very glad to learn something to use to our people have to learn about it.
You feel a bit embarrassed walking in, you know, at 19, 20, teaching people who are your father's age and your mother's age. But once you get to know them, and then it's a lot better and everything. Then you feel more at ease with them.
We don't say we're better than them because we can read and write a little bit. They are a lot better than us. They live in this world and they manage without anything, and parents who came to this country to work and support their families at home. I think what they're doing, it's great. I don't think I can cope with that, to look after my family here and look after my family at home.
A, B, C, D, E.
تمام. Good. Good. She's getting there.
brown. مستعدين فرحانين نعلم الكلام. مستعدين فرحانين نعلم اللغة.
أيوة.
نعيش معاهم باحترام.
So it's important for her to learn the language.
نكون مسكين نتكلم مع الناس.
Yeah, so she can get on with the people, communicate, go to the shops.
The scheme is essentially a literacy campaign, and the aim of the whole thing is to give literacy education to older Yemeni men and women. That's the aim, and that's key, and we try not to lose that. But in order to deliver all the things we want, there's on the one side the education for the older people, then the welfare of the young people. So for 2.5 days, the young people actually work on the literacy part with the older people. And for 2.5 days, they go to the Polytechnic, here, Sheffield City Polytechnic, to get an education themselves.
To help us improve our English, reading and reading.
So we could enter the Polytechnic if we want to further our education, to get a place at the Polytechnic. So this is kind of like an access course, if you like, really, to get into the Polytechnic. Pardon?
So that's a good part of it then?
Yeah, that is good because it's enabling us to educate ourselves further.
30 years Yemenis have lived in Sheffield. I think we had less than a handful of Yemenis who went to higher education. Within a year, we may end up having about 6 or 7. Just like that. I mean, I think it's a transformation.
Unemployment language, again?
Yeah, due to language difficulties.
Right. Oh, I see, you connected the two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What else?
And experiencing prejudices.
Is that what I call racism?
It's different.
Yeah, I know. I know that. That's why I asked you.
Yeah, okay, put it under racism. Okay.
Yeah.
The access course put on by the Polytechnic includes social science, computer studies, and media analysis. Much of it is based on the literacy assistants' knowledge of their community and the profile of it they themselves help to compile.
Now, that's in the first cell now. You're going to enter the number of men Yemeni men who came to Sheffield before 1939. That's 3. So enter the number 3, that's up here, and then press carriage return. Now it's plotted 3 for you. Now, the next number is the number of men who came during the war, 40 to 44. So nobody came then, so that's 0. So press 0, carriage return. And it's got an empty box. Now the next one, press 2, carriage return.
We've learned things we didn't know before.
Now, the next one's going to be difficult.
They encourage you to discuss things. They don't just say, the teacher's in the front and say, you do that or do that. We can discuss, all different methods of doing things, amongst ourselves. Bring out ideas out of each one of us. That's what I like about the method of teaching. We also teach at their homes because a lot of the women have got kids and lack of confidence as well going out.
And they find problems when they go to hospital or when they go shopping. People just ignore them because they can't speak the language of English.
هذا الرقم 22 احنا عاوزين 22 احنا شو عاوزين الرقم 8 number 8
Well, I've got one client who I just usually take to hospital. And I just I help her with signs and I talk to receptionists and to doctors if she's got a complaint or ailment she wants seen to. Well, she didn't know she had to take iron tablets, and so I asked some iron tablets to be given to her.
Yeah, milk وهذا يسموه protein ايوه هذا fruity vegetable vegetable ايوه vegetable هذا الvegetables عمل carrots والcabbage. Nice.
So I'm going to mix it all. See, this is healthy food.
Just explain to us why you're fasting again.
Oh, fasting, it's compulsory for every Muslim. Unless he's ill or mother had a baby or a child who is under 7. Or the woman if she's, on her period. But fasting is for every Muslim. You know what fasting is?
Mm.
We don't have to eat from dawn to sunset. And there is a lot of things for it, if I can explain it. It's good for your health. You feel for the poor. And it makes you less greedy in this world. Because nowadays, everyone is greedy, I think. About money, about anything, nice thing. Everyone wants it. And when you fast, you think about all this. بتيجي تطعم لي هذا يا رجال ما سويته عشان ملح يا رجال. I can't taste it because I'm fasting, so I want him to taste. I don't know if I put salt or not. شوفي ده كان فيه ملح قليل كده بس. ها.
What channel are you on? They lost a chance to watch you.
Oh, I'm not in any channel يا بنتنا.
Not quite.
Kids.
You can't just come and sit and expect the lady to come and serve you. It's not right. We always help. And when she comes to my house, she just take her coat off and she sits and help me. If I haven't finished, she'll finish with me. If I already finished, she will put it on table. And I do the same when I come. It's a bit relief. You can't expect visitors. And then when I come here, I don't feel I'm a burden on her. And she's the same.
But the men stop in there.
Yes, the men sit, waiting for everything to be said. Well, when women here, why should they help?
But we like doing it, aren't we, Iman?
So it jobs.
So what are you cooking now?
Now I'm going to fry the sambusa. It's the pastry. I have to make it like a chapatis. And then I have to fill it with cooked minced meat with lots of spices in it, like coriander and garlic, onions, a lot of good things in it. And then I have to fry it. My husband helps me in the frying, but I don't know what's happening to him today. يا رجال مالك اليوم ما تشتغلي سمبوسة؟ لا. He likes to fry it.
like come around and, you know, I've played snooker or table tennis and that, and now we've got instructors teaching us self-defence and dancing and keep fit every Sunday.
But why does it have to be girls? Tell us why you want it to be girls.
Because if it's boys, our parents don't allow us to come in.
You know, you've got some difficulty with the family. So when we opened it, we tried to get the message around that it was open for girls, for Yemeni girls. And it just keeps growing, you know, the group every week.
If you were in Yemen now, would things be very different for you as girls there?
I think in Yemen, you'll be with your friend. I mean, same people, you know who they are. You know, like here, if my sister asks her mum to go outside with English or, you know, a different person, she'll say to her no straight away. I mean, in Yemen, she can't go anywhere she likes because that's her own country. She'll be free.
Are you likely to go to the Yemen?
Later on in life, not yet. Because it's my own country and it seems a much safer country than over here.
Oh, I couldn't live anywhere else but here. I know everything over here. I know where to go. But over there, no, I don't think I could ever live there.
So how important is it to you to keep your sense of culture and your identity as Yemeni people?
It is important, but at the same time we can enjoy ourselves at the same time, the English ways and that.
Are there some English ways you don't like?
Well, I'm used to them now because I was born here and been brought up here. I've never been home since, so I'm used to all English ways just about. But I'll never forget my old ways. I mean, the Yemeni ways, my parents' background and that. I'll never forget them.
So what particular about the Yemeni ways do you think is the best thing?
The religion.
Sorry?
The religion.
Religion.
Yeah, they think more about the religion.
إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن يحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا.
I've been studying Arabic since small. You know, it's worth learning your own language.
We always speak with our mum and dad in Arabic, and my brother sometimes I speak in Arabic.
Sometimes I forget some Arabic word, sometimes forget some English word. So I just call it mixed half-caste language. Yeah.
I get confused, you know, when I'm writing, because in English you start from the left to the right, and in Arab you start from right to left. So sometimes I get in, do you know, hand, you know.
قال أحمد لا هذه كرة تعال نلعب.
Somebody told me, she said, you should speak to your son in English because you can speak English. I said, but that's not excuse for me to lose his identity. I want him to speak my language, and I will be proud of him to speak my language. When I go back home, I won't have to have interpreter for him. He'll be all right for himself.
In India, everybody is bilingual or trilingual. The people know 4 languages easily. You don't have to be literate to know more than 1 languages, because there are 14 or 15 recognized languages in India, and most people speak more than 1. So it never occurred to me that knowing one language in any way hampers or makes it difficult to learn another.
Not confusing?
No, not at all.
It is important to Yemeni parents that the children born here are able to speak and read their mother tongue, and the community provides classes in Arabic after school. Similarly, the Yemeni literacy campaign provides Arabic classes as well as English because many of the older Yemenis have never learned to read or write their own language.
They want to learn Arabic. If they be able to write letters to their family, to read the letters from back home as well. Sometimes they don't want anybody to know their prophecy things. So he has to take the letters to his friends. Sometimes he has to go from one house to another, you know, to find a suitable person who keep the things like secret, what's in the letter. Which is a big embarrassment sometimes in the letters itself. They don't want anybody. You have to find the right person in the right time.
Okay, come and take a seat.
Thank you.
Hello. Have a seat.
Okay, could you ask him, he was in hospital recently, could you tell us what's happened to the headaches? He was suffering with headaches when he was in hospital.
يقول لك نعم كنت بالمستشفى من أول وكنت دائما تصيح من راسك.
كيف
راسك دحين؟
راسي أنا لا استعمل تابلت
تاخذ حبوب وإنما تحسن الموضوع.
That
improved since. Just with Anadine, yeah, good. And has he any different problems now to what he was on with when he was in hospital? Has he any other problems?
عندما كنت بالمستشفى من أول هل تغيرت صحتك من المرة الأولى؟ تحسنت. His health has been improved since.
Right, yeah. So we'll be checking a blood test to do with the sugar. And I better just have a little look in his eyes, all right?
Okay.
If you could just have a look at the switches on the wall there, all right?
Steel production has left thousands of workers with health problems like asthma, deafness, burns, and broken bones. Even with the campaign for compensation, Yemeni workers have found themselves at a disadvantage in negotiations because of inadequate English. How did they cope with health and safety regulations at work?
There was no health and safety them days, you know. I mean, we are talking about 50s. There is none. I tell you, he doesn't need to speak English, he doesn't need to read or write or do anything. As I said, shovel and tongs and hammer, waiting for you there. Soon as you go to the work, just to give you what you can do, and that's it, simple as that.
But haven't some people had problems with industrial diseases and illness?
We've all had some. We all had some asthmas, deafness through hammers, through lancing, caring, welding, asbestos. We've all had to do all these jobs.
I've been working with crane driver, jeep crane. That crane is going with diesel.
Diesel?
Diesel, yes. And I go in, start the tube, fire in the morning. I turn off oil, and I went to start the tube. Not start the tube straight away. About after 1 minute, when you get too much oil, and I start the tube, and fire went in, come into my face. See? Yes.
So what happened?
And I have, very sore. Face and eyes.
And you didn't get any compensation?
No. And you get nothing about that because you don't understand before. Can't understand, can't clean, can't anything.
Should you have been wearing protective clothing?
This one.
واجب الشركة التحقيق لحم تغطي وجهك لما كنت تشتغل.
Me no understand, he no bother. You see? No bother about me.
They didn't bother?
Yeah, because he won't work that all.
كل المشاكل الحقيقية حصل لي أنا اشتغلت في سندس كيزن أكثر من 13 سنة وثم نتعورت في المصنع وبعدها اسعفوني في الأمبولانس للمستشفى وجلست 16 نهار وبعدين القرار كان في نيجي ظهري وحقق الطبيب ان انا مكسور من الظهر وكده ربوط اني غير صالح للعمل وثم المصنع خلاني مده 6 شهور وبعدها سوكني من العمل وتابعنا في حقوق من جهه المصنع وقال لا يعترف لي في حقوق لا الجنسي ولا يعطينا اي شيء.
المراجعه مني وانت المترجم للمصنع وللمسؤول حق المصنع من أنه حرام عليهم يخرجوا الراجل هذا بدون أي حقوق ولا يلحظوا عليه ويعطوه برا من العمل حتى إنه مش القانون في بريطانيا هكذا ولا المصانع تمشي بهذا القانون يجب أن تمشي معاه ضمن القانون البريطاني وجوب هو بنفسه قال أنا القانون نفسي وهذه مصنعي ولا أسأل على أي إنسان. المحامي حقهم يعني الأونيون واللي هو حقهم النقابة موجود عندنا ولن يستطيع يتكلم بشيء أبداً حتى خلصت القضية واستأذن من المسؤول هل أنا أستطيع أتكلم معهم بصورة سرية بسيطة حتى وهو في حالة مرعوبة.
Trade unions just left them there without actually offering a specialist hand to them.
in that sense. So Yemeni people are bitter about trade unions, and I think that personally that trade unions haven't tried to reach the Yemeni community or the black community as a whole.
Why doesn't anybody else help, do you think?
ليش ما ساعدوكمش الناس الثانيين من قبل؟
هم يكرهونك لأنهم ما حد أولا إحنا
He says that Bobak said that there was a lot of racism in the past and nobody cared about the Yemeni people at all. أنت إيش قلت؟
أولا إحنا أن ما فيش معنا أي منظمة التي تساعدنا، أيضا بالإضافة إلى أي منظمة أخرى يعني ما يساعدونا شيء، وبالذات أيضا هم يعني ما يحبوش يعني مساعدتنا في هذا الجانب، يشتونا نبقى ناس ما نعرف شيء أي حاجة.
والإنجليز اللي كانوا يشتغلوا معاكم العمال، هل كانوا معاكم واقفين لا جنبكم ولا مش واقفين لا جنبكم؟
بالنسبة للعمال ما نقدرش نحكم عليهم بشكل عام إنهم ناس غير طيبين، بينما إنه بعض العمال يعانون يعني هم في طبقة عاملة مثلنا، يعني قد يكونوا في اضطهاد يعني مع النقابات أو غيرها من النقابات.
But when you say racism was in the past, I mean, it's still with us, is it not?
لما تقول تفرغ العنصري اللي في الماضي لا زال هو موجود معنا الآن.
لا زال كان موجود وأخس على من الماضي.
It's even worse than the past.
It's worse now.
Yes.
The half-caste lads in this country are facing big problem. When his name is Muhammad, when he filled the application form, end of the day he doesn't get a job, but Smith will get it. He either had to change his name to Smith or Muhammad, he will never get a job. He's not getting any better from 50s to 1980s. We're just getting worse. Because your name give you away. This is discrimination, no doubt about it.
Thank you.
This is my father's shop. Every day before I go to work, I have to work in here, open from 6 until 9. It's, you know, all people who go to work, that steel industry, it's just British steel and everything. They always come in here in the morning for a bottle of milk, paper and Kit Kat, things like that. Quite nice customers. Some of them are a bit funny and everything, but most of them are all right. So I don't get any hassle in the mornings. It's usually in the evenings from the other customers we get. Thanks. See ya. Just take it as it comes. We get used to it now. You know, that packing and everything. Just get used to slogans, things like that. And one time someone sort of shot windows through. That was a couple of years ago, but that's what they did. That's how far it goes.
We want the laws to be used. We want to live and fight for a multicultural society. We cannot allow racists to get away with killing our people. And they're accusing them of petty crimes. A racist murder is a racist murder. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammad Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Muhammad Rasulullah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah.
Yes, I like to go to Yemen for good, see. But what I say, see, we've been in England all our life. I went last time to Yemen and I asked for a job. When they heard me to ask for a job, they said, where you was been? Where you been all this time? Well, I said to them, I was in England. They said, oh, you're not good enough for us. You're an old man now. Go back there.
Old
yes,
man.
It's true that. A lot of us, everybody knows that. Because they says to me, you lose the best time from my time in England, and you come into here to ask for a job. See, anyway, if I like to still there, I don't know what I do. I mean, I can't, you know what I mean? I can't carry that responsibility there.
Because I made this place, this country, my home, my second home. And to my kids, it's their home because they've been born here and they don't want to leave this country. If I could, I would go from here as soon as possible. But then I have to think about the children.
Quite often you find people who are constantly interested in Nicaragua and Tanzania, but not interested in the international communities that are right at their doorstep. The local people become a problem, an issue. We want to challenge that model. We want to say that international communities that live here are interesting. They have an impact. They involve other people in the city. They open up the city. The city's perception of the world becomes bigger. It becomes more interesting. And I think that has certainly been our experience within this project, and we want to share that with you.
Hello. How do you do? You alright?
Yes.
I'm sorry not tell you what's your name.
It's Munzala.
My name is Zara.
My name is Munzala.
Okay.
number 4 bus and catch tramcar to Attercliffe. At that time, I missed New Road. He went to town.
You missed your stop?
He was a bit fog. And that conductor, used to be conductor there, she never even asked me. I would sit down there, I get 4 bins. I took 5 trips on that bus. Up to last trip, it's about past 12. Everybody got out of the bus in town. I was still there. And she come to me, she says, "We finish?" I says, "Thank you, that's all I know." "Thank you." She says, No. "Finish." I says, "Thank you." Start laughing. First police says to him, this lad, he'd been in bus since, could be past 9, I think. We have 5 trips. You were in. Couldn't speak in a word English. Well, I says, "Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll try to get somebody to... Find somebody, colour bloke, couldn't speak in Arabic, I couldn't speak in his language. He come to me, he says, "Speak in English?" I says, "Aye." He says, "Thank you." And just told me, "Sleep." "Where?" I says, "Attercliffe." He just picked me up. He says, "Come on, car." Straight away to Attercliffe. I just see Sheffield Street. Open the door, run away.
We not bother about school to learn English that time because nobody told us to go night school or something like that. We just carry on work.
Come here, do this.
Move this, shift
this. Turn this. Take this away.
Yeah.
Come here. Shift this. Do this. Make this. That's all.
You learn this easy. This is what you learn.
Come here tomorrow 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Finish 2 o'clock. هذا نعرف.
This is what we know.
Show me machine, show me labourer, show me slinger, show me crane driver, anything, I do it. Because I got 2 eyes. And I get good thing, but work. When him showed me with hand, and I do it.
Donkey work, labourers. You do a job what the Englishman doesn't want to do anyway.
We used to get about £7 a week, and we working nearly sometimes 16 hours to get some more money because we need some money to send home and to manage ourselves. And we manage the life, and we go in the shop, have tea with friend, and buy some stuff.